finals. Markshire and Itachi have gotten into the game here, and you are now seeing us, just myself and LotusKnight, and joined by TwoStarMako as well. Mako, how are you tonight?
Mako.
Mako, Moko, Miko,
It's
Micah.
Mocha, please.
Mocha? Alright, ice cold mocha. How you doing tonight, Latte?
I'm doing pretty good, Porke.
I see. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and add in the bands now that they've revealed it. They didn't have them ready by the time we had started the call for HearthCenter, but I'm going to go ahead and update the graphic on the screen, which I believe, Markshire, it's his Rogue and Itachi's Priest is what they said were banned. So let's update that. And in the meantime, I know Lotus is hard at work on the numbers he just promised us, so we will hopefully get to hear who he believes is favored in this matchup shortly. But oh, you were ready?
No, not yet. I'm still hard at work.
All right, so Mako, I will ask you first. What do you expect here in this matchup tonight?
Oh boy. I'm gonna give you my unfiltered, unbiased opinion on how this matchup is going to play out. Are you ready?
Oh, I couldn't be more ready.
Okay, this was me stalling while I pulled it up on our website.
Oh, I should have tried to play it up for you.
Oh, okay. So, Markshire coming in with the mage. As you know, personal favorite of mine. I am undefeated on new ladder system so far with it. It's been pretty nice.
Ooh, self-plug. I like it.
Oh, dude, come on. Itachi coming in with the warlock. What kind of warlock is this? Let me take a look.
It's a Galakron warlock.
Ooh, another favorite of mine. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. From personal opinion, the his Dragon Hunter and Mech Paladin, his being Itachi's, has a favor into that mage matchup. That's like all I've been playing, so that's where all my perspective is coming from right here. So I think if Itachi leaves that mage up, and he can get the win with with his other decks and just leave that Hunter or Paladin, assuming that Markshire doesn't ban it, I think Itachi can take this out. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think the Paladin. We do know that it's not banned in this case. Both Paladins are going to be played.
Oh yeah, what are the bans?
Yeah, the ban is Itachi will not be allowed to play his Res Priest. Markshire will not be allowed to play his Rogue. And actually, so you guys can stare at some relevant info. Let's put the actual decks up on screen here too, so everyone can see those. That's nothing too crazy in the lists here. At this point, fairly standardized lists, but there's a reason the lists are standard at this phase of the meta. It's that they're essentially the best lists, and you can tech a little bit for THL, but I don't think with an open list you're going to tech too heavily, since everyone will know exactly what's in your deck. I think Markshire is going to have a tough time with that Paladin. There are chances it just rolls, which it's what Mech Paladin does. Sometimes you just curve really well and you blast your opponent before they can really get their game plan online. And not having Res Priest to stop it is advantageous for him as well. But it needs a little bit of luck. And we talked about this in the pre-show, where queuing order is going to be very important. I think if Markshire can negotiate that Paladin into a matchup that is at least 50-50, such as the Mirror, and I believe the matchup against Hunter is pretty favored for him as well, then that's going to be, I think, the key here to get the win for Markshire. Lotus, what are you thinking?
I think I agree. I think it's going to be all about figuring out how to get the decks through. I am running the stats. It's almost done. Give me one more minute, and I'll give you guys the exact map.
Okay. Well, we might have to get the match going and let you give us the math on the fly, just because I don't want to hold them up for too long here, because we're already 8:37 real time, which you guys will be coming in even a few minutes later than that. But I'm going to let them know that they can start, and then we will see what they decide to do and how they decide to queue.
Okay, so the stats recommend they actually recommend an interesting case. They recommend the rogue ban, which is a bit different than what I expected. There might be difference list to list, given that they banned the. So Itachi banned the mage.
No, Itachi banned Rogue.
Okay, so he did ban the rogue, and so he banned the rogue. There was a priest ban. They're actually 50-50 according to Moneyball.
The funny thing is, when we were discussing bans, I actually brought up the possibility of a paladin ban, but I pretty quickly gave that case up.
The data actually wanted him to ban if you knew. So if Itachi knew that the ban was going to be his Galakron Warlock, then the rogue would be great. Actually, no, he wanted the Warlock to be banned. Never mind. In that case, the priest would be correct, or the hunter. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not surprising how they decided to ban. I think that was kind of what, and we talked to the players obviously during HearthCenter, and they both kind of expected this to be the outcome. But yeah, we're jumping into game one here. We will see what they decide. To start with, Markshire on the mage and Itachi on that paladin.
Oh boy.
Mage versus paladin, it all depends on, can you get a little bit of control to stop the early board? Typically, the answer is yes, from my.
Also, these are both gold 6 players.
Yeah, they've been putting in some ladder work today.
You can't get more even than that.
That is true.
And we see pretty decent opening hand for Itachi. He's got double shot bot and a galvanizer. He's going to have coin too, so if he wants, he can galvanize that first turn and then double shot bot right out of the gate, which is not what Markshire would like to see, especially with he's I would assume going to mulligan away Alexstrasza and Power of Creation, but keep that Ray of Frost. But running up on 6 seconds here. I don't know if maybe he's just held the ban, trying to make sure that we all get in the game here and see.
Did see here?
Oh, he did. No, he did.
Okay.
We ran into this graphical bug the other night where it didn't show choices and it didn't show the mulligan right away. But it does. It did happen. So he threw away actually the entire hand and got Frostnova and Blizzard back. He's got Reno and Alexstrasza, but those might just be too late in this matchup because I think if you get to that point, you've probably won against Mech Paladin anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Reno can sometimes be that final board clear that just says, here, I won.
Oh, of course. As we expected here, Itachi just coins out that Galvanizer, and he picked up the Skyclaw, too. In Micro Mummy, he threw away the War Gear, and now he's just got a bunch of really cheap stuff, and he's going to try to get on board and end this game before Markshire can get into his power turns.
Yeah, I think if you're Markshire, you're kind of regretting throwing away this Ray of Frost.
Yeah, I'm surprised, honestly. I think if he had kept the Ray of Frost, ended up with Blizzard and Frostnova, he'd be looking pretty solid right here. But yeah, picking up Alexstrasza and Puzzle Box on the first 2 turns is less than ideal.
Cannonball.
Oh, that reminds me, I don't have the sound on. We should turn some sound on so everyone can hear the sweet.
Now picking up that Reno is gonna help him out. He does have a lot of these wide board stalls and wipes that could potentially get him to that mid to late game that he's really wanting based on his hand. So we'll see.
I think the interesting thing will be when he chooses to use the Frostnova, because you don't want to jump the gun on that.
Correct.
The other problem, though, is with the health totals here that you see in the Reborn minions, Blizzard is just going to kill a few things and then leave Itachi with stuff that can just attack the next turn.
The other Skyclaw is also a huge pickup here.
Now the question becomes, does Markshire get greedy with the Frostnova? If he doesn't, and Skyclaw comes down, that's another 3, 5, 8, 13, 16 damage next turn. He'd be down to 8.
Ah, man, if only he had some Ray of Frost right now.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you do drop the Frostnova here because I mean, if you do see that Sky Call coming down from Itachi on this next turn, he is losing a minion. Sorry, a ad just from our channel just popped in my ear while I was talking.
I think the ideal. I think you're right. I think Frost Nova, it is time. He's gonna opt to ping instead because my hope is that you end up getting Ziliax or something off the top, or you know, like a 3 mana, or maybe even Zephyrus for that matter, and then you can pick up another Frost Nova.
I think it's fine here. He has enough resources that at this point you can Frost Nova, then go with the Blizzard Reno. I would be fine with the Frost Nova.
So
Which path to choose?
if Itachi plays a Skyclaw, that could be a really big misstep on his part, because that's, I mean, he doesn't know, but that would be really good in Markshire's favor here, and he's not going to.
It's also a board lockout, which is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't allow him to magnetize anything, but he is getting a couple extra draws. And speaking of magnetize, there's Snip Snap. He's getting a couple extra draws from that Blessing of Wisdom that he played on the Shotbot, and the Shotbot that has it on it is huge right now.
So I think we're going to see a Noi module come down from Itachi's side next turn, and probably that's it, because I'm assuming we're going to just see a Frost Nova from Markshire.
Well, if he doesn't Frost Nova, he just dies. So that seems like the only real option here.
Now, if I'm Markshire, I kind of want to Frost Nova ping off this 3/1 as a bait, like, hey, play more minions, because Markshire is going to be able to go from Blizzard into a Reno, and that should be a full board wipe no matter what he puts up next turn.
Well, the problem being that if he
gonna die,
if he goes ahead and Blizzards though, every single one of those reborn minions is going to immediately be able to attack the next turn. So he's going to have 6 damage plus the Skyclaw, so that's going to be 10 damage that he'll just take the turn after, even if he goes now Frost Nova, Blizzard, Reno. So that's pretty dangerous.
It is, but I don't think there's any other option.
Yeah, what else do you do?
No, he's locked himself into a game plan here, and Itachi knows that he doesn't want to overcommit to the board, but yeah, he's going to go ahead and pump up that Skyclaw so it won't die in the case of a Blizzard now. And he now has even more stuff on board. That's a very, very smart play, because a Blizzard here, like we said, kills the stuff, doesn't freeze it, and he gets the benefit of the Skyclaw thereafter. So, yeah, this is a tough spot now.
1 mana Frost Nova.
Yeah. I still think the Blizzard is better. Yeah, you take 5 damage to the face, but it's fine.
Oh, he's going to take more than 5 damage. He's going to take 8 damage.
Right, because Skyclaw does survive, so that's 8 damage. Yeah, still fine.
Like
you have a better...
He's going to take 8 damage, and then a second Skyclaw comes down, he's going to take another 4.
Yeah, he'll be at 4.
Actually, nope, and then add another 2 for the A.E.O.N module if Itachi wishes to do that. And you could be looking at putting Markshire at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always the chance of getting that Dragoncaster Yoggbot, which we're all looking forward to see.
Oh.
So War Gear becomes a pretty strong option there, as now that makes this board impenetrable by Reno, at least in its entirety, and that's pretty much the game, unless Malagos into the Frost Nova is pretty much his only option.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs the Frost Nova right now.
And he's going to roll it. We won't see it because of the graphical glitch.
No, there's no Frost Nova. It's Malagos Tomb, Frostbolt, or Flamestrike.
Ah, you can actually see it. See, we couldn't see it. Or I couldn't see it.
I could see it.
But this is not a win.
And it is a win for the Paladin.
Right. The
For
Paladin takes
Itachi.
stage 1.
We talked about that at the top. They're both running the Mech Paladin, and it is a very, very strong deck if it just gets rolling early. Itachi had a fantastic opening hand, and Markshire was just never able to really get footing. Itachi did a great job there, kind of making sure his stuff was un-AoEable. Not that that's a term, I guess, but it made it so that Markshire could never. It is now. Markshire could never really clear the board.
Right.
And we are jumping into game 2 here with Markshire is going to be Paladin, and the Galakron Warlock for Itachi is the choice here. So Markshire hopes to flip the script and pull off the exact same thing that Itachi just did by getting this Mech Paladin through. And we see one of the techs in Markshire's deck is Shield Breaker. I don't know. I guess Shield the Galakron would be the big hit in this deck.
It's good against Mech Paladin as well because a lot of their magnetics have taunt.
Yeah, I meant in this matchup specifically, but he's going to hold on to Crystology and toss everything else back. Not a bad pickup.
Right. No, but this is really good for Itachi because he has both Dark Skies. Just a great card in this matchup and in a ton of matchups.
Crystology first is going to go Clotron, Hot Air Balloon. Do we coin Crystology again here and hope maybe you get a Galvanizer because he didn't pick one up there, and that could really get this deck rolling?
You could also just do it next turn.
You certainly can. I guess the other option would be if you want to coin out like the Hot Air Balloon, but no, he's going to hold on and see what he draws on the next turn. Easy tap for Itachi. It's the Galvanizer!
Oh, that Crystology coin Galvanizer looks really sweet.
Looks fantastic at this point. And like we said, Markshire might just be able to do exactly what Itachi did to him and roll very quickly. And there's a second Galvanizer.
Yeah, so you think he coins this out?
I think you're going to Galvanizer.
Yeah, you don't want to wait.
And I also think you make a very resistant hot air balloon.
That does seem like the right idea here. And I think that... Oh, no, he's going to leave the hot air balloon out there. And Dark Skies now can clear off this early board.
Leaving it out there makes it super weak for Dark Skies.
Yeah, I think your idea was correct as well here to try and make that minion that can just kind of snowball a little bit more resilient. And, Itachi opts to just use the Bad Luck Albatross instead.
I don't know if I love this play. I think...
Well, it would have died anyways, wouldn't it? To a Dark Skies.
Yeah.
So if anything, I think he just saved himself the resource for the potential Dark Skies.
Well, would it have died to Dark Skies, though, if you...
It would have been 7 health on the board, and he had 7 cards in hand.
Okay, then never mind. Then I miscounted.
Yeah, I kind of like getting that Micro Mummy down, a little board resilience, and it's going to start buffing things. And at this point, I don't think Itachi has much of a choice. He's got to go with the Dark Skies here. Picks up Galakron, which will be helpful. He has yet to invoke, however.
He does have the dragons in hand, so next turn he does have deal 3 to everything. And at the same time, you can see that there's no way the Paladin can do any War Gears. The best he can do is Blessing of Kings, so you will have some resilience.
Still, Itachi thinking, do I want to take 15 damage this turn and more if I tap? It is not... Oh, he's gonna tap. Picks up the Plague of Flames. He's gonna use Nether Breath.
I like this play. It's punished by the War Gear, but I like this play.
So War Gear, are you targeting the Hot Air Balloon to keep that thing alive?
I think so, yeah. You know the dragon is the big...
Yeah, and your Micro Mummy is going to come back.
Exactly.
Reborn. So I think that's your best target here.
What would Uther do?
Markshire does, in fact, magnetize the war gear onto that hot air balloon, and incoming, that's 13 damage this turn. It's going to set Itachi down to 15. Shotbot, well, see, the Shotbot has the same principle as the Micro Mummy. If he plays it out, it will live through any sort of dark skies and give other things a better chance of living too.
Plus, at this point, if he plays the dragon, he's dead. So that's not a play for Itachi. I think that closes the game.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep. Blessing of Kings is going to end this game, and that is a quick, quick swing back to 1-1 as each Paladin just steamrolled in its matchup here.
Mech Paladin just gets there.
This is also the last week for Mech Paladin because the whole deck basically is rotating.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who will not be saddened by that fact.
Nope.
But we'll have Librams.
That deck's going to be so bad.
I think that deck will be insane.
I think it's going to be insanely bad.
I would have liked to hear this argument at HearthCenter earlier.
Sorry.
We'll do a
Libram
Libram off.
And in we go to a Hunter, not a mirror. We've got the Dragon Hunter for Itachi and the Highlander Hunter for Markshire. It's the dragon-oriented Highlander, which is kind of the popular one at the moment. And we see a pretty good curve for Markshire right out of the gate. He's got a lot of low-cost stuff.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't get easier than that.
Yeah, this deck really wants a 1, 2, 3, and we can see that Itachi didn't get a 1, which is kind of hard when they have the Springpaw Fairy Dragon Ursatron.
Yeah, he did get a Fairy Dragon, which gives him some early play, and against most decks that's pretty good because it's hard to remove, but Springpaw is the perfect answer to that if Itachi opts to keep this hand. I assume he'll keep the Fairy Dragon, probably get rid of the rest, maybe keep that Primordial Drake, but I would imagine he's digging for a 1-drop.
I would take the Scale Rider just because it makes sense with the dragon.
He does pick up the Feywing. And
Markshire
Markshire,
bye-bye to his 1-drop.
That's interesting. He gets tracking. So he's going to have a turn 1 play. Ziliax, Life Drinker, Snip Snap. Oh, Ursatron is no longer active. That is every mech in the deck.
No, there's Dragon's Bane.
Oh, you're right. Dragon's Bane is a mech.
Oh, it's a mech.
Yeah, because that card really needed to be a bit better.
Ziliax, the pick. I think I agree with that as well. Coin Fairy Dragon, a very, very strong play typically for this deck. You prefer to see Phase Stalker, but Fairy Dragon of Markshire's own to counter, and we'll see where Itachi takes it now. I'd imagine we're going to see some face damage and get a cheap Frenzied Fellwing, or Feywing.
Or do you ever freezing just to protect your dragon?
That was my initial thought. He keeps hovering that tracking though.
Because you could tracking and then hit face and then play the Fellwing.
The moment is upon us.
Okay, Explorer Breath or...
Corrosive Breath is such a good card in almost every matchup. I think that that's the right choice there.
I agree. It's just so strong.
I think if you're Markshire, you're looking to trade off this dragon too, right?
Yeah, give yourself the, take a little bit of damage off the board and leave the Feywing up, which is targetable. Or Fellwing. I keep calling it a Feywing. It's Evasive Feywing, Frenzied Fellwing. The 2/4 drops always kind of get me backwards here.
Yeah. And on top of that, the extra health isn't going to do much in the matchup either.
No.
But the dragon keyword, if he were to play his weapon on 3, would give him a free swing. He's Unleash the Hounds.
So he wants a full
Opting for a full clear. He does have the Ursatron and Battle Mage follow up next turn, and if Ursatron can get a Ziliax on top of it, that could be pretty strong. Though with that With that dragon out there, I don't see a way the Ursitron lives.
No, the Urstron definitely.
You never know. Itachi might go for that value trade.
This is a great draw, though. The Griffin means you get an easy kill on the tooth.
What does that draw for him?
Probably Faceless.
It can also draw that Spring Paw right back.
True.
Faceless it is, though. Scale Rider, a quick counter to that 2/2 minion and a Battle Mage of Itachi's own. And we just see kind of the board, swinging back and forth. Desert Spear, the pickup from Markshire. That plus the Faceless is not a bad future consideration here. But is this a situation where you want to just maybe play the Boom Pistol Bully down and deny the Rottnest Drake this upcoming turn? It actually unknowingly to Markshire denies every minion that's currently in hand for Itachi because the Twilight Drake is also a Battlecry minion.
It does get met pretty easily with the Corrosive Breath, but this
Yeah. Is Corrosive Breath freezing that bad of a play?
It's definitely slower than you would like, but for Itachi, he would say like, okay, at least I've got cards in hand, I can play. Not only that, the Corrosive Breath is active, so it's going to get that face damage too. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that could happen to him. But I think Markshire might even be looking here at a Ziliax Ursitron combo if he can get to turn 8 and get a big 6, heal for 6 and trade with like a Rottnest Drake. That might not be the worst idea going forward, but that Battle Mage is a great pickup for Itachi as it gives him something to play in addition to getting some damage in.
Yeah, so he's gonna leave that up too.
And the secret is Freezing Trap. So Boom Pistol Bully can't. Now that Ursitron can draw nothing. Boom Pistol Bully cannot attack anything. It's going to go back to hand. But I think you have to try. I think you still have to. You have to try to attack something no matter what here.
So you could just use a spear.
Well, I think he's probably going to end up using that too.
I think he's gonna go for this Dragon Bane because it is a mech. So if that does get left up, it's an easy attachment for the Ziliax. But most likely Itachi's not gonna leave it up, so he's gonna trade off a lot of his board to get rid of it, and he'll probably get rid of one of these minions in the process because he'll have enough mana for a hero power too. Never mind.
Yeah, I think
he's is good because it sets the Faceless as well.
Well, here's the thing. He can use the Freezing Trap on this rush minion that's going to go ahead and get sent back to hand. And he played out of order there.
That was definitely out of order.
I was thinking he was going for that, for the spear play for that exact reason, in order to send the 1/1 back to hand instead of the Boom Pistol Bully, and that hurts quite a bit now.
I think I like the Corrosive Failing here more.
Vengeance is near.
I don't like her voice.
That seems kind of petty.
Sounds weird. I don't know. What does that get for him?
And anything at this point would be good.
He could clear this board, actually. With a swing to the face, he can Faceless Corruptor his minion, and then clear off the 4/4 and the 3/3, and then he could Zephyrus for a backstab and clear off that 2/2 and leave himself with a...
He could also just Zephyrus Shadowflame.
I mean, yeah, that's like way more boring, though.
That doesn't leave him a minion on the board, though.
No, it doesn't.
This will leave him with 2 minions.
Also knows that.
And Markshire agrees with you.
Zephyrus, you sneaky bastard.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Zephyrus has not been the best recently.
Wow.
I'm sure Markshire was just as shocked to see those options because he had the same idea that you did, Mako. I don't know. I don't know how how that was decided. Those were the cards, but I guess Ziliax's Healing Touch now is playable this upcoming turn, and is a pretty, not an entire board clear, but it gets quite a bit of the way there.
Yeah.
Itachi deciding whether or not to trade. He opts to trade and take out the 4-1, leaving just Zephyrus on board.
So,
how greedy does Markshire want to be? Does he wait for that Dragon's Bane?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Does he go for that 50-50?
He's certainly thinking about the comp.
Well, I wasn't even thinking the 50-50 this turn. I was thinking you Dragon's Bane with the Ziliax on top of it next turn. So you can Healing Touch Primordial this turn to get something down and clear off that 2-3. So you are going to take 5. Healing Touch will mitigate that, but
yeah. So you'll be at 13, well 11, because he's going to Hero Power. I think that's what he's going to do here. Oh God.
No great options there.
Emerus for the memes, Carrion Drake for the smart plays.
He's now that he's committed to that Drake, he has to Healing Touch here.
Yeah, you really gotta do it. No. He's taking the 5.
He's still gonna heal.
Yeah.
But boy, that's yeah, that doesn't feel great.
I guess he knows what secrets are left, right?
That's true. It is open list. He's seen the freezing. Rottenness Drake immediately comes down.
So he will clear that off.
And he's thinking, okay, Snake Trap is fine. Yeah. Because I'm okay with Ziliax getting hit multiple times and healing me.
You get punished by second Rottenness Drake though.
You do.
Can you imagine if that was a freezing? Oh boy.
That would have been a very sad time for Markshire, but I don't think at that point he had any choice.
That was probably a concede.
Yeah, how do you get past this now? I mean, if you're Itachi, you're really hoping for that top deck, but with what's in his hand.
Well, you can hit it for 6. He can deal. Yeah, he can deal 4 to it. Oh yeah, wow.
He's gonna heal it.
He's gonna heal a ton.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't care about that Face Stalker anymore, as there's no more secrets in the deck. It was just the one copy, and that is a big card.
I think that finishes the game.
Nozdormu and Emerald Explorer. If the 8/8 didn't finish the game, the 4/8 with Taunt certainly is. I would expect Emerald Explorer, Spring Paw, trade into the 1/1, and then you just slam Nozdormu and end turn. Why not take a second Nozdormu? I mean, Rottenness, again, is the smart play, but man, do I want to see... But, by the way, we saw multiple Nozdormus on Saturday night last week. Like, when I say multiple, I mean, like, over the course of 9 games, we saw, I think, 6 of them.
Wow.
It was bizarre. Love the APM there, just playing the Nozdormu, immediately ending the turn. Stormhammer is the pickup, and that will allow him to get through this Drake, but man, no gas left behind as Itachi is now out of resources. And he has decided to give it up. And Markshire, who started down 1-0, is now up 2-1.
Markshire at this point just needs to get his mage through.
Yes, mage is the remaining deck. I accidentally just gave Itachi the win. That's not right.
can Mage beat Warlock, and can Mage beat Hunter? The Hunter has a great time against the Mage. It's really Hunter favored.
It's super
Well,
Hunter
Hunter,
favored.
it is super Hunter favored, but that Doomsayer's nice.
But yeah,
Doomsayer, Dragoncaster, Bone Wraith are all keeps, I think. So this looks really good for Markshire.
I don't think you take that Dragoncaster.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're
tempted
looking
to say
for
no as well.
I think you're looking for something a lot earlier than that because you're really gambling if you keep that on some big spell that can do a huge swing. I mean, it's a super win more card and a super win more keep, but right now he doesn't have any of that in his hand.
Oh, you have the Doomsayer on 2, the Bone Wraith on 4. You can do Dragoncaster on 5. I think you can keep.
Well, Markshire agrees with you, Lotus, and he's going to hang on to it and gets Arcane Breath, which is a great turn 1 option.
You can Dragoncaster, but you have to have something to Dragoncaster.
The moment.
I think he's banking that in the 6 draws leading up to that turn, he will. And we see Itachi's got a very slow hand for this deck as well.
There you go.
Well, Lotus, like a prophecy, come to life. You have been
He's
validated.
halfway there. He still needs a dragon.
He does need a dragon, but again, 5 more draws to get there, and
The caster part of it.
and I think Markshire, if you're looking across the board, you know obviously exactly what deck your opponent's bringing. Not seeing a turn 1 play is very encouraging.
Yes.
Book
you
of
will see the
Specters.
Hammer, which is like the worst card ever.
I think you don't get too greedy. I think you Doomsayer right here and just protect yourself for another full turn because there's no real way that he can go ahead and kill that Doomsayer out of hand.
Yeah.
That is true, but you are annoyed if he plays a weapon. That card is just so good. It's a 3-mana infinite durability weapon.
But that's still fine because that means that he's going to use the weapon, use up a charge of it here, and then he'll have no board, and it'll allow you to go ahead and establish something here going forward. Albatross is the perfect draw.
Is really good.
Because, I mean, you really didn't want to have to coin Bone Wraith if you could avoid it, but Albatross gives you a play right here, and it lets you at least either soak a hammer attack, or, stick a minion to the board.
That'd do.
What to do? What to do?
He's going to answer this with a wing, which is a really good answer. It's not over yet. It's very far from over.
No, I think Markshire's got the tools.
Yeah.
The only thing he's missing is a dragon at this point, and if he gets that dragon, I think we could see him make it to the later stages of this game in decent shape. We're going to see Book of Specters instead. Arcane Intellect is burned, Ziliax is not burned, and Tortolan Pilgrim is now another option, and that's kind of good too, because obviously you can use it for Flame Strike, you can use it for Frost Nova. That's not the worst. Not the worst outcome there. Reno. Probably not going to be impactful in this game, I would imagine, as Itachi is going to start pouring in damage if Markshire can't put some stuff in the way.
Well, I think Reno's actually not that bad later, because sometimes you need something that closes the game, and Reno can be the card that does it.
Very possible. Bone Wraith will come down here and just get in the way, essentially, and allow Ziliax to mop up next turn. Then again, a Rottnest Drake would have proved me very wrong, but we knew that it was not in hand.
Caster Vision.
Scale Rider is the pickup off of the tracking, and that will allow Itachi to get the hammer to face and not have to use that on the Bone Wraith. Power of Creation.
Still no dragon.
Still no dragon. I think Ziliax is the play here. Go ahead and clear off that 5/2 and at least heal yourself up a little bit. Or you could, you could use the 3/3 and then you have the Blizzard for the 5/2.
I don't know that I love the Scale Rider here. I think the Scale Rider can be saved for better turns. I would just play the Fey.
Well, you'll get your wish here on this next turn as the Evasive Fame looks to be the option for Itachi. However, this is going to result in some healing for Markshire. So he's going to effectively get 6 healing out of the Ziliax. And the Fellwing will come down as well. And now the board's looking pretty scary, and still no dragon. Doesn't necessarily matter because he can just hard play this Blizzard. And he can save the Dragon Caster for a Power of Creation turn, which is kind of now where he's at, unfortunately.
Yeah,
we're all hoping.
I think you're out of place here besides Blizzarding. Anything else just seems like it's going to lose you the game.
I mean, that's fine, because next turn you have Coin Tortolin into either Flame Strike or at least Frost Nova. You also have Arcane Breath. Is he running Flame Strike?
Decks don't run Flame Strike anymore.
Well, for his sake, I hope he is.
He's not.
Frost Nova it is.
Giggling Inventor, though. Interesting.
Yeah, well, you can't Tortolin out of Giggling, unfortunately.
You can't not.
But you can throw Dragonbane out and do a ton of damage. And Snip Snap, not a dragon either.
Wow.
You know, he kind of needs to coin Tortola and hope he gets something good. I don't even know what he's looking for from it.
I mean, you're looking for Frost Nova.
He could also look to high roll the Power of Creation. You can get some good taunts from that.
You can get some 5/12s sometimes.
I mean, you can get some 5/12s. You can get some Cartoots. You can get some the Vault Boys.
Safeguard, yep.
Safeguards. You can get some 5/6 Divine Shields.
He's coining something. He's going Tortolin.
What's he looking for?
Not any of those, I would imagine.
That's not gonna do it. I think that closes the game.
I guess you Conjurers. That's really all you got. Hi, Hirik the Bat.
It did hit the right minion.
Yeah, he 1-5'd that like a champ, but the result of it was not what he was looking for. And man, after the cards he started with, I can't believe he didn't end up either getting a dragon or just kind of getting out of that. But it's gonna go back to go to game 5 now.
I think it's just the Hammer's strength is just so good. That card is just way above any power curve right now.
Are you guys ready to play against a bunch of Dragon Hunters day one?
Well, I'm ready to play against a bunch of Libram Paladin.
You asked for it.
Hey, me, if you want the free wins, go for it. So, I think mistake here would be keeping the Dragon Caster again. It's such a bait.
Against the Warlock, if you know they're not aggressive, I still like keeping it. I think Dragon Cast is a good card.
It's a good card, but it's a bait in the mulligan.
I think I could be convinced to keep it if you had Lunas already, but I would say, like you said, it's a slower matchup. Maybe you want to go ahead and just kind of dig real hard for Lunas.
If anything, I could see keeping the Reno.
Itachi, on the other hand, has Plague of Flames, Sacrificial Pact, probably getting rid of both of those, which, well, he quickly did. But Bad Luck Albatross is a great card in this matchup because it's going to deactivate any Highlander capabilities that Markshire has, at least right away. And Alexstrasza is the first draw. So nothing like the two highest cost dragons in your deck to start with after you saw none of them the game prior. But there's Lunas. Sure, he's considering the Book of Specters, but I think you want to wait at this point, now that you know you've got Lunas on 7.
I am checking HS Replay. HS Replay does suggest keeping the Dragon Caster when going first against slow decks.
Opts to just ping face. Itachi will just tap. And Markshire is just drawing every expensive card in his deck the last 2 games, as Puzzle Box will now sit in hand. So this game is probably going to get to that stage, so we might start to see some craziness ensue in the latter half of this one. But Bone Wraith right on time.
Yes.
I think with drawing that Puzzle Box and having the Lunas and then another spell in your hand and only 2 minions, I think playing that Book of Specters last turn would have probably been a good turn to play it. Because it gives you more options coming forth. And it does give you like decent chance to draw at least 2 minions here.
I think what he was thinking is just after Luna's Pocket Galaxy, Book of Specters is just so much better.
Yeah.
It's sometimes better.
I kind of like the thought of maybe Arcane Breathing last turn. It was possible that you use that on the Albatross and then you ping it instead. But nope, he opts to play the Bone Wraith. Arcane Breath will likely come down here now.
Yeah,
and let's see what he has for option.
Full clear here.
Fireball, Magic Trick, Ancient Mysteries. Well, Ancient Mysteries is out because no secrets in the deck. Magic Trick, if you pull that, what are you looking for?
You could take an Arcane Intellect, you could take Magic Missiles, anything that pings, honestly. Any one cost spell is fair.
Arcane Explosion is another choice, especially with these 1/1s. He's going to take the Fireball. And a full clear indeed, as Itachi will now just play that Shield of Galakrond real quick and start, or keep the Invoke train going. He's now up to 2, and he's got Galakrond in hand already, and there's Dragoncaster. See, that's why you throw Dragoncaster back, because it comes back like a boomerang on turn 6, right when you need it.
That's fair. Are we going to see a turn 6 box?
No, we're going to see a turn 6 in Lunas. And then a turn 7 Book of Specters into all the cheap stuff, you hope.
I wanted the box.
I mean, I still think we get to the box eventually.
We all wanted the box. Was it the best play? No.
Oh, definitely not. No. Although box on 6 has been very recommended by pros recently.
I think if you didn't have Lunas, then sure. But Lunas is really kind of what you're looking to do with this deck.
Right.
And this board state is actually pretty scary now. Markshire hoping he doesn't discard anything crucial, but we're going to see Frost Nova, Ray of Frost, and he does get a Twilight Drake out of it, but those are 2 very important cards that he did not want to let up.
No, and he is going to have to waste his Fireball just to kill the 4/5.
Yeah, I think he's either going to have to do that or play the Albatross and then ping this turn.
I don't think you want to play with your health total that much, though.
No, I would agree with that. Albatross number 2 will continue to shut off the Highlander elements of this deck, which is still a Zephyrin deck and still Dragon Queen Alexstrasza.
Right.
But Zephyrs is already active for a top. No, Zephyrs is not active. He's just going to play the Tempo 3/2. But Reno! No, it's not active!
Oof.
Nope.
Nothing to do here but play what you can, ping what you can, leaving effect. Yeah,
I think you play the Reno.
I wonder.
I think you do. It's better on the board as a 4/6 than sitting in your hand hoping you top deck an Albatross.
Right. Plus, next turn you're probably going to Alex to hope the other turn you either Reno or Puzzle Box. I hope you are ready to watch some Casino Mage.
It's my fave.
Another breath in hand. Here comes the Netherwing. This is a full board clear, which is fine for Itachi because he's going to reestablish pretty quickly with a Snip Snap as well.
And that conj is not what you want to see.
No, not helpful in this case. Alexing your own face is pretty much the only option that you have, because he's dead to another breath in hand. We've already seen one Nether Breath, but even if a second one is there and he does not Alex his own face, this game is over.
What to do?
And Itachi does have that Galakrond, but only invoked twice, so at this point he will not get a weapon out of it. Markshire recognizes the situation appropriately there, and does use the Alexstrasza on his own health.
Yes, I will destroy them.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a Reno coming up here.
I think that's the only real option here because it's a little heal,
Yeah.
and it gets rid of everything. That could be a card to swing.
Luna and the Conch could do some stuff here, but I think you're just playing with fire with that.
This turn, no, yeah, there's no way you don't Reno.
If you're feeling really, really courageous, you could also Puzzle Box.
Yeah, if you're the type of person to walk into a casino and take your entire wallet out and just drop it on a single number on a roulette board, you absolutely Puzzle Box here. But I think most people are going to take the safe route and stay alive at least one more turn.
I wonder.
It does feel bad to Reno your own out, so.
But at the end of the day, you are removing more on Itachi's side than you're removing of your own stuff. So, yeah, you don't like to see it, but you're more than happy to go ahead and get what you can get out of it.
You're also happy to not see a weapon on that side right there.
Yes.
But
those are two pretty decent demons.
Oh yeah, and Kronks is in hand too. This is not great. I think we're gonna see puzzle. Not helpful.
See.
You could see a Calic Puzzle Box.
Yeah, because Caligos could get him something else besides puzzle that he can play here.
Yeah, I think we have to Calicos first here. We have to see it.
Now, if he wants to get really ballsy, he could Luna, draw with Doomsayer, and then conjure us his Doomsayer so it doesn't kill his board.
That would be something.
Roll.
We're gonna put our faith in Caligos, it looks like here, and none of those are. Power Creation is okay, but it's not the card.
Conjurers can get you those taunts like we talked about earlier.
Thought I had more time.
He's gonna Power Creation.
There's the taunts.
Alright, so that is actually going to keep him alive. And much to Lotus's dismay, no puzzle box yet.
Yeah.
No. I've been looking forward to it.
Ooh.
Actually, he's just dead.
Where's he dead?
Kronks to deal 5 to everything. Leaves the 4/6 alive. Oh, never mind. Doesn't deal 5 face damage. I thought for some reason it would deal 5 face damage. It will never do that.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I was a little bit misled there. But no, this isn't magic. Still not a bad situation here. Do we see a second Dark Skies?
I think he's trying to get this Caligos down to 5.
Yeah.
If he plays that, that's my assumption. I don't think he's gonna play it though.
Time is burning out.
This is tough. This is a tough turn for Itachi here.
He's going to use the Plague of Flames to kill it, guaranteed.
So Dark Skies would have killed it too.
Oh no!
That.
No, you do not.
Right. You do want to draw, so I think he's gonna Luna into Giggling here.
Well, now that you don't have to play the Doomsayer, I think, and plus you can Conjurer's Calling that Giggling Inventor for multiple 6 drops.
And you know what would be a good 6-drop?
Cartoot.
Oh yeah.
Markshire's going to let it roll. Giggling Inventor played first. The draw is an Albatross. Sure, why not? We'll play that. It's an Albatross.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you want to play that because you can't double. Well, you can't double Conjurer's Calling anyway.
Yeah, I think you wanted to Conjurers first before you went off with these Albatrosses.
Well, he's down to 2 Albatrosses. He's gonna play the. He's gonna play the Mana Saber.
So he's not gonna get double minions here from this.
That's even if he chooses to do it at all.
Yeah.
I don't think he conjures here.
At this point, I think you do not.
I think conjuring a few minions ago might have been his best play there.
Well, this kind of makes Dark Skies a tough proposition, but Godfrey is a very easy clear.
Yeah, so you're kind of looking at a puzzle box
This
now.
will be a mercy killing.
Oh yeah, let's watch this. Big moment.
Lackey.
Discover a lackey. It's a damage lackey, but that doesn't do enough.
There's more draw. See, so now he's in a kind of tough spot. So if he can get these 2 draws going, but it wouldn't let him play this puzzle box.
He
So
would
I don't
basically
know
be
what
hoping
his
for a
neck
blizzard
here.
at this point.
Yeah.
So do you take a 2 out of 11 chance to draw a well, 1 out of 11, then 1 out of 10, or do you just puzzle box?
He's
He's Power of Creation is not playable, and Albatross is, but not helpful.
2, 3, 7. So 7 damage on the board here.
7 on board, and we know there's a Kronks in hand and a Nether Breath in
Yeah.
hand.
I think this is game. I think you should have just gone for that puzzle.
Puzzle box would have been the play.
The puzzle
I
box.
could just
That was a
cast
mistake.
that.
He can snip, snap, and conjures, calling that once.
Yeah.
Thought I had more time.
Does he get anything that? I mean, he's got to clear the whole board though.
If he plays that second snip snap, there's no more conjurers calling, and that's the game.
That's the game. That's the game.
Wow.
I think, looking at the way he was mousing things in hand, I think he did not realize that second snip snap was going to be a 3 mana snip snap.
You are too late. His return is nigh.
And game
Yeah,
5
but-
goes.
Puzzle box there.
Yeah, I think if you weren't going to use puzzle box there, I'm not sure where you intended to use it.
Yes. Agreed.
Like it's never it's obviously a very high variance play. Like there's always a chance that something can go terribly wrong with it, but it's in your deck because you want to take that chance, and he just opted not to, and I think he held on to it just too long. But the good news is that Itachi is still in the group, so we can get him back in here for an interview very quickly. All right. Just waiting for him to respond real quick. So that is going to be a 4-2 lead for FTL to open the week here. A.E.O.N, no strangers to being down early in the match, so that's not the end. And we are going to see 3 matches on Saturday, potentially. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. So plenty of more to come in this finals, but it's still going to be a little while, as A.E.O.N's going to have to kind of sit on this one now for the next few days and see if they can crawl back into the match.
Right.
Still not hearing anything from Itachi.
That is weird.
Well, Lotus,
In the meanwhile,
I'll ask you here.
let me ask you guys.
Oh, you asked me?
Sure,
You
go
asked me?
for it.
You go ahead and ask a question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, as the unbiased member of the casting team here, what was your expectation of this match? Did you think Markshire had a good enough lineup to pull it out? I thought the Mech Paladin was going to be where the whole thing hinged, and he got that win very quickly.
He did. I didn't expect it. I expected it to be whether Itachi could get the Warlock. And he did. So I was thinking that was all about that. I expected Itachi a tiny bit just because of his lineup. But I wouldn't say this is a surprise. I think both players have been doing a great job. Both are great players. So both are 550 BRs in Legacy.
That's true. That is true. Mako, I know how you feel about this match, but did you expect a different outcome?
The different what? You cut out.
A different outcome.
I don't know, man. Did I want a different outcome? Yeah. I expect a different outcome? Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
go with yeah.
I mean, 2 points is still 2 points. It's not, it's not a sweep. So definitely, the best bad outcome that A.E.O.N could hope for here was picking up some points. But yeah, definitely not the way you want to start the finals. It doesn't look like Itachi's going to respond. Maybe he just went to celebrate with his team. That's okay. So we will be, wrapping things up here. So thanks everyone for tuning in tonight, not only to the match, but to HearthCenter as well. We'll be back again with you next Wednesday for the post-pro finals. We do have the award show coming up next week. That's awards for every series, so stay tuned for information on that. This Friday is the all-pro draft, where the two captains will be picking classes and picking teams. So there's a little bit of an interesting format there. You can go back and watch the video on HearthCenter last week for information on the format, as it's a little bit more involved than we've done in the past, but it should be a fun experience. So check in with us on Friday for that. As I mentioned, 3 matches on Saturday, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Sunday, if necessary, will be 9 p.m. Eastern. But that's it. That's it for us tonight. Lotus, thank you for being here. Mako, thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hope you guys all enjoyed. Good luck to the players the rest of the week. And we will see you next time. Have a great night.
Later.
See ya.